He's going all the way. 20, 15, 10. Touchdown. Texas Tech takes home the victory.
Welcome to the Broadway Shuffle and happy Thanksgiving week from yours truly. I'm here with Conrad, Clayton, and Zyler. I'm Brennan Baxter, and today on the Broadway Shuffle, we are going to break down Texas Tech's last regular season game against the West Virginia Mountaineers this weekend. We'll give our predictions for the games this week, get into Rivalry Week. One of the best weeks in all of college football is finally here. We're going to break it down for you. Happy Wednesday. We're going to release this today for a reason. We've got Thanksgiving tomorrow, and we know you guys will not be listening to us. You'll be stuffing your faces and watching college football and NFL football. So we're excited to get this to you. Huge week, gentlemen. Big 12 championship aspirations are finally here. As we mentioned on the preview show, there is a chance for Texas Tech to clinch a Big 12 title spot if Arizona State loses on Friday. So we might be celebrating Friday night before Saturday in Morgantown. Hopefully we'll still find a way to win regardless. It is going to be an exciting weekend. And as always, Shufflers, we are so thankful for you guys. We've been doing this now since 2024, a little over a year now. And so we're very grateful for all of the Shufflers that have joined us. If this is your first time, make sure to like this video and subscribe. It's totally free. All it does is help you get our content all the time for free. So we appreciate it if you would like this video and subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Spotify and Apple. So with that, gentlemen, I'll open up the floor. What a week. 10-1 Texas Tech. College football rankings came out last night. Still slotted at number 5 with a huge opportunity to make a move. Zyler, what were your initial thoughts? No surprise, Texas Tech staying at 5, but what an opportunity you have ahead of you this weekend.
Yeah, I think no real change. I think Oregon did. The only thing that changed around you was Oregon jumped Ole Miss, which I think, we've commented on Oregon, and I will spare the listeners my diatribes on the college football playoff committee and how they do business. But yeah, good news for you. Glad to see Oregon didn't jump you. The committee's really respecting your quality metrics, if you'll talk about that, as opposed to your resume metrics. I think your resume metrics are a little bit worse than some of the other teams, but your quality metrics are top 3 in the country pretty much by every advanced analytical site. And so the committee's taking that into account, which I think is fine-ish process. And yeah, good. You've got everything ahead of you. You're right where you want to be. You would have told me that we're even just in the top 10 at the end of November in the college football playoff rankings. I would have signed up for it. Top 5 is a huge luxury.
And Clayton, it's looking like with a win in Morgantown, you're a lock regardless. If you end up losing somehow in the Big 12 championship, you might lose the right to host a playoff game or potentially have a bye. But being slotted at 5, you're not going to drop with a win. So things are looking like if Texas Tech does win this Saturday, regardless of what happens in Arlington, you will be a playoff team. Thoughts on the importance of that and what that means for Texas Tech? Does it just give you a confidence level knowing that you're secure with the win, or does it add a little more added pressure Saturday in Morgantown?
Yeah, either way, I think there's pressure because, like you said, you lose this week or you lose in the Big 12 championship, and you're then going to be going on the road, and you'd probably be an underdog at whatever place you play, as opposed to where we are now playing at home versus a group of 5. So I think the pressure will still be there Saturday and in the Big 12 championship, especially, that's something that we've never accomplished as a school. I'm sure the players know that. Joey definitely knows that. So I think there will still be pressure, but yeah, I do feel like it allows you to play more freely in both scenarios. Like if Arizona State were to lose Friday, and then if you beat West Virginia going in, I guess it's not 100% that you would be in the playoff, but from the way most people are talking, you would still be there even if you lost to BYU. So I think that does take some of the pressure off, and just hopefully lets you play a little freer.
Yeah, man. Well, we'll get into the game in a second, but Conrad, I got a text from a shuffler today, and they said, "Where the heck is a Kool-Aid factory? It's been the greatest season since 2008, and we've had no mention of where the Kool-Aid stands." And so, if you are listening for the first time, Conrad, I want to throw it back a little bit at the request of several shufflers. What's it like heading into Morgantown, and how hyped are you for this weekend for Texas Tech football?
Yeah, if you've been with us for a long time, you understand that the Kool-Aid factory was a thing. And I think the Kool-Aid factory got so big, at least in my mind, because you had to manufacture some type of excitement. Because there were times where you were really searching last year. Obviously, good season. We've been trending in the right direction, but at the same time, there's been a lot of in recent years in Texas Tech football something to be yearned for. And so with the Kool-Aid factory last year, I think that's what we were trying to do, manufacture that excitement. But this year, I mean, there's a reason that it hasn't been as prevalent, I guess you could say. And the reason is because it's just been so expected, right? Like this team is so good. It's, you want to act like you've been there before again, even though we haven't. 2008 was the last time, but this team is just so good that it's like, okay, we're playing Oklahoma State. Oh well, like we're going to beat them. Like there's no reason for us to come up with a Kool-Aid factory, Kool-Aid flavor, if you will. So it's still there. Business is good, business is steady, but it's something that we really haven't had to push because it's just expected what we're going to do to every single team we play.
Okay, well, I just wanted to speak for the fans. They wanted it back. It's been something that we've kind of just moved on from, but it's good to see it still humming and Conrad's still in control.
Conrad, if you had to speak, when were you most nervous about the Kool-Aid factory? Was it before the Utah game? Was it after the Arizona State game? Was there any point in time where you doubted this Texas Tech team and their ability to deliver on our kind of goals going into the season?
Yeah, it would have definitely been before the Utah game because that was the first test, right? I mean, Arizona State, you obviously had a reason to consider that, hey, that may be a fluke, and we obviously saw that it was with obviously Bear not playing on the road, Will playing. So that was probably when I was nervous, but it's been really hard like this year to find anything wrong truly with this team. I mean, we've had we're like, well, can the offense do this? Can the offense do that? But I mean, if you've listened to all of our episodes this year, you have not wondered for a second what we think about this defense. I mean, I don't think we've had a negative thing all year to say about the defense, and for good reason. But at the same time, it'd probably have to be before the Utah game just because that's your first test on the road. You don't know what's going to happen. That offensive line, that would have been the only time for me that it would have been concerning, but not concerning because of anything we saw, concerning because we just didn't know at that point.
Yeah, that's fair. I would actually say the same game. I talked about all preseason that the Utah game will be the measuring stick game. And after seeing that, I had all the confidence in the world that you could compete and be at this moment. It's a huge week in college football. There's a lot of moving parts around you. Your game is 11 a.m. on ESPN. So I also thought that was a credit to what you've done so far this year, too, that they're giving you a prime slot on ESPN. You're not on ESPN2. You're not on FS1. This is a moment, Z, that Texas Tech gets to prove again to a national audience that you should respect us as a team that could win a national championship, not just go win the Big 12. This team has bigger aspirations now that they're here than just getting to Arlington. Do you feel like Texas Tech is deserving of a top 4 spot if they're able to ultimately win this weekend? Do you feel like they'll be slotted staying at 5 even if they go on to win a Big 12 championship?
Yeah, I don't know. I think deserving is such an interesting, like, do I think they're a top 4 team in the country? Even if I took my, Red Raider, glasses off, yes. So in that sense, sure. But I also think Notre Dame might be a top 4 team in the country, and I don't think they deserve a top 4 seed. And so deserving versus are they a top 4 team in the country, I think are two different questions. I don't know that your resume is going to get there if you beat West Virginia. Like that doesn't move the needle. And if I'm going to be consistent here, when I talk about, Tennessee beating teams like Kentucky or Mississippi State, I got to be consistent and say beating West Virginia should not move the needle for anybody as far as how you evaluate this team and their worthiness for a top 4 seed. Now, I think you will have an opportunity in the Big 12 championship game if you get there. You go smack around BYU again, and I think some people will diminish that, but I believe in BYU as a top 15 team. That to me would be really, really impressive again. So maybe you can get there, but I think you need help. I think an Aggie loss, I think, Georgia somehow losing to Georgia Tech. I don't think you can catch Ohio State or Indiana unless both of them lose and then another one of them loses in the Big 12 title or Big 10 title game. So I think unlikely. I'd say 20% chance that you're a top 4 seed.
Not zero. Better than zero.
Not zero.
Clay. Not zero. Clayton, before we really get into West Virginia, because there's not a ton of meat there for us to get into, did you expect this? Did you feel like in August this could be your ceiling, or were you just hopeful for an opportunity to win the Big 12? Like, how shocking was this year to you?
It's a
I
great
definitely
question.
didn't expect this. Yeah, that is a good question. I feel like just being 11-1, if you told me that would have happened, I wouldn't have been that shocked. But like seeing actually how good we are in winning those 11 games, and like Zyler hinted at, like legitimately being like a top 5 team in the country, I am pretty shocked by that. There's definitely a world where I could have seen, if you told me we went 11-1 and I could have just believed that like maybe the Big 12 was down and we won like 3 or 4 close games, I would have believed that. And I was high on this team coming in, but they have definitely blown me away, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I never would have imagined this, even knowing how talented the transfers we brought in were. So that's honestly, it's been crazy. I do think back to the going to 4, though, I think we have a shot at getting to 4 if we're jumping Georgia, if they're not in the SEC championship game. Like if A&M were to play Bama and beat them, I think we'd have a shot at 4, which would be insane. Like that would be way above my expectations.
My argument for jumping Georgia would be the fact that you should reward conference champions and you should reward getting to the conference championship. And if you're going to have a 4-5 swap and Georgia's not in the conference championship, though they only would have 1 loss, assuming they beat Georgia Tech on Friday, it really doesn't matter. You're giving one team the bye, but you're pretty much saying we're going to slot Georgia and Texas Tech in the quarterfinals. Let's just give them, by virtue of winning their conference, Texas Tech the bye. I feel like that's a fair thing that they could measure. But Z, to your point, Indiana and Ohio State, the loser of that conference championship game is still probably going to have a bye, assuming they're both 12-0. So it doesn't always work out equally, as we've seen with the College Football Playoff Committee. But there is a scenario where it feels like Tech, just by virtue of winning the conference, would jump a 1-loss non-conference champion team. And this is also assuming that Bama, if they were to win the SEC, they're going to get a bye. The SEC champion will get a bye, and Bama would be a 2-loss SEC champion with a bye. So there's just weird scenarios that could work out there.
So yeah, like let's play that out though. Like if Bama is at where were they in the most recent ranking?
They're
I
10.
didn't look at They're 10. So you think if they win the SEC, so that's beat Auburn, and let's say they beat A&M, you think they jump all the way to 4?
They have
or 3?
To. Yeah, they absolutely have to put them in the bye. Yeah,
4. They would get 4.
4.
They could not. So they could not jump.
No,
Tech
they would go to
Tech
3.
1.
I feel like they would. I think they would.
I think they would jump.
I mean, you're probably right, honestly.
I don't know.
A&M
So in
would
that
stay
case,
in
where
the
does
top
A&M
4.
go? You
I
think
think
A&M would go
to
4?
Yeah.
And you would get bumped down to 6 behind Georgia?
See, I don't see that
we could
happening.
be 5 ahead of Georgia.
The thing, too, is you have Bama slotted at 10 and Tech at 5. If both win their conference championships, you're really going to jump Bama 6 spots over another conference champion. I would think you'd move Tech to 3, A&M to 5, Georgia to. I think it would be a downfall from.
Okay, I can actually see that.
A&M. I don't know if you could justify jumping Bama 7 spots or 6 spots over Tech, who would also win. I feel like that'd be a lot to ask, but it's the SEC, Conrad. They could do it pretty easily. So what am I talking about?
To that point, though, it would be weird to have A&M go 12-0 in the SEC and like really solid resume as far as those wins, and then drop them out of a bye for losing a game against like that feels. And far be it from me to defend A&M. That would feel kind of harsh, right? Or am I wrong?
Agreed.
Like if they, I guess maybe it depends on how they play that game, but also should it? I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know what to do with that. I wouldn't know how to do that, and that'd be a really tricky situation. Truth be told.
So most likely scenario for Texas Tech to receive a bye, you would need, and this is terrible to say, you would need Texas to beat Texas A&M.
Yes,
and then deal with the Longhorn ad nauseum conversation about them getting in as a 10 seed, A&M dropping, and then Tech winning the Big 12 championship. That's your easiest path to a bye.
Can we talk about A&M's schedule for a second? Just like we did last time.
please.
Go ahead,
Like
man.
just so we can all be on the same page. A&M beat UTSA. Great win. Utah State, Matt Wells, alma mater, even better win. They beat Notre Dame by 1 point in South Bend. Impressive.
Great win.
Not debating that. They beat Auburn by 6 at home, by the way. 12th man really helped them out there. Mississippi State, they creamed them at home 31-9. They beat Florida at home. They went on the road, beat Arkansas by 3 in Fayetteville. They beat LSU, got Brian Kelly fired 49-25. They beat Missouri at home. They had the 30-point comeback against South Carolina.
Third string quarterback too for Missouri.
For Missouri, yeah, and they won by 38-17. Then they beat Samford 48-0, and they have Texas. I don't see an Alabama on that schedule. I don't see a Georgia on that schedule. I don't see an Ole Miss on that schedule. I don't even see an Oklahoma on that schedule, guys. What does that tell you about the Texas A&M football team?
Are they a Tommy Tuberville candidate?
You're preaching, Conrad. Yeah, that's what you're doing here on the Broadway Shuffle.
Hey, let's go from the bottom up in the SEC schedule. Arkansas, A&M played them. South Carolina, A&M played them. Mississippi State, A&M played them. Auburn, A&M played them. Florida, A&M played them. Kentucky, they did not play them. Missouri, A&M played them. LSU, A&M played them. Tennessee, they did not. Vanderbilt, they did not. Oklahoma, they did not. Texas, they have on Friday. Alabama, they did not. Ole Miss, they did not. Georgia, they did not. Tell me how good A&M is.
That's a fair point, man.
Fair point.
If they beat Texas, I'm not going to complain about the schedule. It's like they went undefeated. They scheduled Notre Dame on the road. Like, you can only do what's in front of you.
Win.
If they lose to Texas, though,
I think Texas gets them this week. I think Texas gets them.
Hey, wait, guys. We got to get to our prediction part of the show later here in a little bit. Don't hold that thought, but heck, okay, I guess we know where we're going in a little bit.
I'm proud of myself for that. That was really good, guys.
Hey, Conrad, I applaud you for actually looking at the schedules of who these SEC teams are playing. Very well done, and I laud you for your effort.
Yeah, that was well done, Conrad.
Don't ask me to compare that schedule to some Big 12 teams, though.
We'll move past that for now. We'll move past that.
I do have a question on the CFP. Last thing, how many teams? And let's exclude ACC champion and G6 champion. So for the at-large spots in the conference champions, how many teams do you guys think are still alive for a CFP spot? I mean, Alabama, I think, is obviously alive. BYU's alive. Is Miami alive for you guys, or do you think it's
Miami is very much alive?
It's out of their hands, though. I think they need other people to help them out.
Right, but I would count that as alive. If there's let's put Georgia, or excuse me, Alabama, for example. If they lose to Auburn, they're dropping out of 10. So, and then if BYU were to then win against Texas Tech, they would clinch. Texas Tech would stay in, so that would knock another team out. I think there's scenarios where you could sneak in a Miami.
Does Miami play Pitt this weekend?
Yes.
Yeah.
If Alabama loses and Miami beats Pitt, it is going to be so funny to watch Miami and Alabama switch spots and BYU stay at 11. I cannot.
That's a possibility.
And you're going to see a crash out unlike anything I've ever had on this show if that happens. Unlike anything I've ever done.
Well, and then Z, I would say too, Texas is where it's 16. I think that's the line.
Actually, no. You think Utah's alive? I don't think
Utah's alive.
I don't think Utah's alive, but I think
BYU is going to keep them out.
Is Vanderbilt alive?
I think Vandy's alive.
If they beat Tennessee,
and Michigan's is alive.
You think Michigan's alive
because if they beat Ohio State, it's the best win all year.
The committee may end up with a really tricky if Vanderbilt and Michigan and Texas all win this weekend. I'm not saying that those teams deserve to be in. They're all that is a nightmare. And that is a nightmare if you're go ahead.
The fact that they moved Michigan ahead of Texas, I feel like was hedging on their part so that they don't have to deal with that, because now if Michigan beats Ohio State and Texas beats A&M, they're just going to say, oh, well, Michigan was already ahead. They got the better win. But
I noticed that was the one thing I noticed today, Clay. I was like, they did that on purpose because they did not have to move Michigan up for beating Maryland and Tech.
I think so.
Like
it's
not
weird,
have to
like
move
3
them
spots.
Over. Yeah, they moved them up.
Yeah.
Did anybody really? I guess Georgia Tech fell a little bit, and then USC fell a little bit. So that's a weird win to like move up on.
That's what I'm saying. To Clayton's point, what the committee is doing is saying we don't want to have to judge we want to make this as easy on us as possible. So we're going to go and lay the groundwork now to avoid the drama later if these things happen. I think that's what that move was for sure.
Yeah, and so I think that's the line right there at Texas. Like, I don't think Texas is getting in. That Florida loss is going to hold them out, I think.
Yeah.
But that's only 15 teams alive. that all of a sudden, 15 teams for 10 at-large spots plus the 4 conference titles that are actually serious, not the ACC and the, I guess, 3 conference titles. That starts to make you feel better as a Tech fan, I think, about
sure.
You see Vanderbilt, Michigan, and Texas all drop games, and Miami drop games. Like, okay, well, who else are they going to put in?
Yeah, and it's going to be the same thing as last year with SMU. It's a prime thing, is that if they're not going to punish you for making your conference champion if they're slotting you at 5. If Texas Tech was ranked 10th right now and lost, there's a debate. They're not dropping from 5 to 12. They're just not going to do that. They're not going to punish you for being that. And they're really high on Texas Tech. So I think Tech is safe with a win in Morgantown this Saturday. That's why you are clinching at least a playoff spot. You might have to go on the road to OU if you lost in the Big 12 championship game, or Notre Dame or Oregon or Ole Miss, but you're in. You're in with a win on Saturday. I think that's a lock, and that's exciting. That's a party at 3:00 on Saturday afternoon at my house if Texas Tech wins in Morgantown.
And I think too, other spots, like if you see Miami drop a game and Utah and Vanderbilt, Michigan, Texas drop a game, it's like who else, even if you lost, is going to jump ahead of you for an at-large spot, unless it's literally every other team.
I think the most interesting thing is if Ole Miss loses to Mississippi State and then Lane Kiffin leaves,
they're out.
Like, what would they do with Ole Miss?
Dude, you remember what they said to Florida State? You're just not the same team without your quarterback. Exactly. You're not the same team without your head coach. You've got to be jumping.
They've already set the precedent.
But I will say, they're not wrong. You're not the same team without your starting quarterback, and you are not the same team without your head coach.
I think that's fair. That's fair.
Conrad's been dying to talk about Lane Kiffin. Can we transition to that real briefly before we talk West Virginia?
Your floor, Conrad.
Yeah, I have nothing to say about West Virginia, just to spoil it, other than we're going to win by 40. But yeah, guys, I am in. This Lane Kiffin saga has been so fun to follow. I mean, first of all, the college football calendar is just so off. Like the way that the thing that he's having to make this decision in season, obviously they're in the playoff talks, which is why he's in the conversation for Florida and LSU, right? But at the same time, that's not good for him. That's not good for Ole Miss. That's not good for the coaches or for the players. Like because again, if he leaves, there is a chance they get left out, which again, that's a whole different conversation. But at the same time, it's one of those things that the whole situation just feels to me like, could this be set up any worse? Like, it's almost like the only way he wins in this situation for me, like from a PR standpoint, is if he stays because Ole Miss falls like a house of cards. If he leaves, because they're not going to let him coach in the playoff, because all he's going to be doing is recruiting their players to go to LSU or Florida. And so I don't know. I think he goes to LSU. That's a top 5 job in college football to me. Where do you guys think he goes? Zyler, what are your thoughts on Lane Kiffin and his sweepstakes that we've been witnessing for the last few weeks?
Okay, so first, I think you are correct in the calendar being kind of messed up. I just also don't know what you do to fix it if everybody's on semesters. Like, it's just a really tricky spot. I am not going to fall for the Jimmy Sexton ad campaign that Lane Kiffin is a victim here with, 3 super high profile SEC jobs trying to pay him $15 million a year, and him currently trying to leave a team that has built him a roster that's going to get him into a playoff. Like, oh no, poor Lane Kiffin. Like, he is not a victim here. He is, I will not shed a single tear for Lane Kiffin. However, if he wants to take the LSU job, you can take the LSU job. That's totally your prerogative. I think he is worried about the PR hit he's going to take if he takes the LSU job and leaves a playoff team, as he should. If Andy Reid left the Kansas City Chiefs to go coach the Dallas Cowboys right after they made the playoffs because he wanted to get a head start on building his roster, he would be mocked relentlessly for it. And I know it's a different sport, but you should. It's kind of ridiculous to leave a playoff team if you're worried about the PR hit. However, if you think LSU gives you the better long-term chance to win a national title and you don't think this Ole Miss team can get you there, go do it. You're just going to take a massive PR hit, and that's part of it. You're going to get paid $15 million a year. I'm not going to feel sorry for you. That's kind of where I fall on that. I think he goes to LSU. If he was staying at Ole Miss, he could have told us that a long time ago. I think he's LSU bound.
That's a great point. Clay, I feel like every other coach, Mike Elko extension, right? Like the coach, Kurt Cignetti extension. The coaches that want to stay at the play, Matt Rule, unfortunately, for Nebraska, extension. Like you have all these coaches that are saying we're going to stay and we're going to sign. If Ole Miss could pay Lane the top dollar, NIL value, everything that comes with pursuing Lane Kiffin in 2025, he would just say, okay, great, I want to stay at Ole Miss. They're paying me top dollar. I'm getting all this. And so I think Zyler's spot on there. Like, if you wanted to be at Ole Miss, you just sign the extension and stay. But he's signed until 2031 too. So it's not like, what extension? You're going to sign him to 2050? Like, what are we doing? Like, he's still signed another 6 years. So I think Ole Miss is in a spot where, like, well, are we going to play this game every year? Like, what do we, we've already got you for 6. Yeah. So it's a weird spot if you're Ole Miss too.
For sure.
And
I totally
did this,
agree.
Yeah, they did this dance 2 years ago with Auburn. I don't know if y'all remember that, where it came out the night before they played. I am going to be staying. And like, he's done this before. He does this all the time. He's a super narcissist. And it's always about Lane. And it's how can Lane get the best out of it. It's never about the schools. Which
so you obviously did not watch the documentary that came out. I bought all that propaganda and some.
This is the second time that documentary's been brought up on this show. Like, are we just promoting Lane Kiffin's
life?
Has anyone
watched it except for me? Has anyone watched it except for me?
No, I am not watching the Lane Kiffin documentary.
I watched it while I was watching.
Okay,
hey, I'll tell you guys. I watched it while I was watching a boring Big 12 game. At the same time.
No such thing. Oddly enough, one coach that we believe is staying that hasn't signed an extension yet, Joey Maguire. I don't think there's any room for concern there, and I think he's talked about that he's staying at Tech. I did just think about that today. I was like, because I was thinking the exact same point that Brennan made. You can get these deals done super quickly. It is just kind of odd that he hasn't gotten it done. I'm not insinuating anything. I think Joey, I'm as close to 100% sure that he is your coach for the future as I could be, but I'm not 100% sure. But I'm like 99.
I'm 110% sure.
Clay, I wanted to get your thoughts on that too, because I was actually talking to a friend about this today. Like, Coach C, he told us when we had him on, guys, I'm going to die in Lubbock. Like, he said that. As long as Tech will have me, I'm going to die here. And even though we love Joey, this is a political game. College football coaches are still going to ultimately do what's best for them and their family. If Joey got a crazy deal to go coach at Clemson or somewhere, whatever, he might rethink that statement. But it seems like Coach Maguire is, as much as you can be as a college coach, truthful on that statement. Like, he just fits Tech. He loves Tech. I'm not sure he would go play a bidding war, especially after this season. And that would make almost zero sense.
Yeah, and he had that quote that came out. Sorry, Clayton, I'll let you get to your thing, where he's like, they've got me in a great spot because I don't have the negotiating power. Like, he hasn't popped up in any of these job openings, and he's done that intentionally. He's told his agent not to say any of that. He doesn't want to be courted for any of those jobs. He wants to be in Lubbock, and I respect the way that Joey has done that. I actually really respect it. It's, it reduces his negotiating power, but I think it is indicative of the quality of human being that he is, and I'm excited that he's going to be in Lubbock for a long time. So it is just odd that we haven't gotten an extension done. Yeah, it's just
kind of weird, especially with the bye week. Like, I kind of thought it was going to happen this past week, and it didn't happen. Yeah. But yeah, I would be shocked. And I mean, it's not like his name is, kind of like Zyler said, it's not like it's coming up for other jobs. And like, with where the resources are at Tech, like, he has all the donors, the administration aligned. I know it's early, but the number one recruiting class for 2027 so far, it would be absurdly shocking, unless like Florida wanted him, but they don't. Like, they're not looking at him, I don't think. That would be like the only thing, is like one of those top jobs called, then maybe. But I would be shocked if he left.
Mm-hmm. I would too.
My thought with Joey leaving is, again, not to don't he's not exactly the 40-year-old coach. I'm not calling him old by any means. I think he's got 20 years left here, but at the same time, it's like, after building this and getting the support, it's like, to do all of that again.
Yeah.
And again, in a conference like the Big 12, where you basically run it because you have more money than everybody else at this point, you keep getting this kind of investment. This is what we're going to see for the next 5-10 years if the conferences stay the same. Why would you want to go coach at Florida when you've got to go against all the teams you've got to play? With it, Tech, with this kind of investment, you are the class of the conference for the foreseeable future, assuming everything stays that way. If I were him, I wouldn't want to go mess with all that other stuff. I'd want to stay exactly where I am, in the best city in the world, and that's Lubbock, Texas.
Preach.
Amen. Amen.
Great
All right.
points.
Well, it is taking us 30 minutes to get to West Virginia. This was probably our worst preview episode ever when it comes to actually doing what we're supposed to do, but that's fine. It was a great conversation. That's ultimately what we're here to do. But it quickly, I don't know if that shows more disrespect. We got to Arkansas Pine Bluff faster than we did West Virginia. But we'll touch on the Mountaineers quickly. This game, 11 a.m. Saturday, as we've mentioned. 39 degrees, I believe, is the high. Some weather could be involved. Going to be chilly in Morgantown post-Thanksgiving. But, Z, just quickly, a couple guys we need to keep an eye on offensively and defensively for the Mountaineers this weekend.
Yeah, it's not often that I say this because Tech has been so beleaguered by injuries for so many years. This West Virginia team is like injury central. They have lost 5 running backs this year to season-ending injuries. They lost their top 3. They lost Jaheim White like 2 games into the season. Their backup Ty Edwards 4 games into the season, and then Dior Hubbard. He was just announced that he's out for the season, and that's in addition to losing guys like Clay Ash, Tyler Yaklich. So they've got a kid that has 244 yards on the season who will be carrying the load. I actually kind of like Scotty Fox, their true freshman quarterback. He's big, he's fast, he can run a little bit. He's a freshman, and he's not a Bear Bogmeyer freshman. But you're going to have to contain him. He's going to give you a challenge. He's going to give you a better challenge than Taven Jackson or Davi Belfort or Zane Flores and whatever version of that Oklahoma State offense. So I think he's the best quarterback you've seen in several weeks. So I am excited about that. And then one receiver, Cam Vaughn, good player. Wish he was on Tech's roster. I think he's actually a really solid young piece for them. This offensive line, though, is in just all sorts of trouble right now. They've got a kid starting at right guard that just does not need to be at the D1 level. Chemo is just not. I mean, you're going to see it when we play them. He's just not. It's bad. It's Sterling Porcher bad.
Wow, that's bad news.
Yeah, they've just got.
Would you
injuries
take
on that
him or
line.
Sterling?
I would take Sterling over this kid. I really would.
Wow, that's high
That's
praise.
really saying something.
If you can't run block as a guard, it's just like, what are you doing for our offensive line? Like, so, and I think I was just looking at some numbers on the. Just a lot of stuff. So their pressure rate right now is 34.4% allowed. That is 83rd in the country. You are 14th in the country with a 39.2 pressure rate. You are going to absolutely get after this offensive line. They just really have a tough time running the ball too. They do not get a ton of yards before contact, only 1.77 yards. That's almost 100th in the country. And you are 4th in the country at preventing yards before contact, at less than a yard before contact. So you've got a lot of, there's nothing here that would tell me in a game that's played straight up without a bunch of funkiness, West Virginia should beat you. Now, I think there's room for wackiness. You know, you throw a pick 6 and you allow a punt return touchdown or kick, something like that. All of a sudden, this game gets really interesting. But this should be a team I think you beat comfortably by 3 scores. They're not going to be able to move the ball on you unless it's just fluky, explosive plays. If they're sustained drives, you're going to get them in a tough spot. So I'm really confident here. This is the most confident I've probably been. I was really confident against Oklahoma State. I'm more confident here than I am against UCF. So you should be able to handle this team.
Conrad, thoughts on Baron Morton specifically this weekend?
Yeah, I've been hearing that Barron's been locked up in one of those rejuvenation beds where you sleep for an hour. It's like sleeping for 3 hours, and his legs just been healing. I've been hearing that he's just been locked up in there recovering, and so hopefully he's going to be ready to go. I hope he plays a half just like he did last time, and we were up by 35 at half, and it's like, hey, let's put Mitch in and get you out of there. But hopefully he's healthy, and again, hopefully he stays healthy. Again, last time we were in Morgantown, a couple quarterbacks actually did get hurt, him being one of them. So hopefully that does not happen again.
Clayton, what quarter is this game over by?
That's funny. It's funny you asked me that. I was actually about to make a point. I think we have enough points to win the game after our second drive. I think if we score 10 points on our first 2 drives, which I think we will, I don't think they score 10 the whole game. If of course, like, we kept our starters in. Now, if we're up 30, we'll probably pull them. They might get to 10, but I think Zyler hit on it. Like, their offensive line is so bad. I think this defensive line is just going to eat them alive. And I don't see, that's not a good recipe whenever you have a freshman quarterback and a fifth string running back. So I think it's over pretty early. I think Mitch Griffiths plays the entire second half.
Yeah, it's
That would be
already
great
over,
news.
actually.
It's already
It's
over.
Wednesday morning and it's already over. So
there is the weird Morgantown has
No.
not been kind to you.
Come on, Z.
But
It's a new
Neither
year.
was Manhattan.
Neither
year,
was
new
Manhattan. This is a
season.
different team. I am so
Dude.
thankful though that this game is at the end. Can you imagine if we were going to Manhattan in the last week of this? I think I would be puckered like crazy thinking about us going to Manhattan to end the year for a Big 12 title. I think that would have concerned me like pretty significantly.
It's
agreed.
so hard for it. When we think about Texas Tech football, it's one of those things, and we've talked about it on the show before, but it's like, because of all the trauma that we've faced in terms of losses and letdowns, it's like that's always going to be in the back of our minds. But at the same time, it's like you can't have that same type of mindset because you didn't have players like this.
Yeah.
You've never even had close to a team this good. Never.
No, this
Yeah.
is the greatest team in Texas Tech history. Can we say that already?
Yes.
Win
I think we can
Saturday.
say that.
But yes,
Yeah. I think we've already said
agree.
it. I think we said
This
it like
team
7
would beat
weeks
the
ago.
2008 team.
I think so.
I agree. I think I would agree with
Like
that
no
statement.
no disrespect to Graham Harrell or Michael Crabtree or any of those guys, but there's no way that offense is scoring more than what? 24?
I think
28?
they would be able to score. They had a really good offensive line.
They did have a
and
great
you've
offensive
seen us
line.
struggle
Yeah.
with like elite wide receivers, a la Jordan Tyson. And I don't think you've played a quarterback this year that was as good as Graham. So I think they'd be able to score on you.
It's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
If that 2008 team had the 2009 defense, I think that would be a really good game. That 2009 defense, I think, was the second best. Tech
Let's ask AI if they can simulate it for us.
Yeah, that's what we need.
I heard a song today that was completely generated by AI, and it was unbelievable. I think I would just it's amazed. And Coca-Cola did a commercial completely AI. Surely we can simulate the 2008 Texas Tech versus 2025 Texas Tech team. Anything's possible
Brennan,
now.
do not give Coca-Cola free advertising on this show.
I'm just
Not a
saying
sponsor, but they could be.
they could be one day. One day soon, Z. We'll see
I'm a
what
Dr.
happens.
Pepper kind of
guy. We'll see. Well, let's get to our pick'ems for the week. Man, rivalry week, one of the best weekends in college football. And tomorrow, too, we've got NFL. We're going to throw a little NFL game in here, obviously, too, because the Texas Tech Chiefs play on Thursday here in Dallas. So let's go first, though. First game I want to get to right off the bat, Arizona State, Friday night game. Does Texas Tech have the Big 12 spot clinched before playing in Morgantown? Is Arizona going to knock off Arizona State? Clayton, I'll go to you first.
I think they do. I think Arizona wins a close game. If Levitt was playing, I would for sure pick ASU, but I just don't think Jeff Sims is good enough to do it. And I actually think Arizona, as we've talked about, is pretty good. So I'll take Arizona like 23-20 or something like that.
Okay. Z, you've been high on Arizona. You called it early. You're going to ride the Wildcats to a 9-3 record?
Yeah, I think they get it done. I think they're more motivated. They're the non-Big 12 contending team that I think is still very motivated to finish out this season well. I think they've got the more complete roster. I do want to see the injury report. I think there were some offensive linemen that went down that I want to see. Are those guys going to be in the game or are they not? I lean Arizona. I would just love for Arizona to win on Friday. It would remove any sort of stress for Saturday. So, rooting for the Wildcats. Brent Brennan, don't let me down. He'll be off to UCLA next season, but I've enjoyed the ride that he's had with the Wildcats this year.
Conrad?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Arizona as well. I would probably actually rather stay at Arizona than go to UCLA. Arizona has more fans in their stadium than UCLA does, and y'all know how important that is for me. So I'll pick Arizona to win and clinch that for Texas Tech before we even kick off on Saturday.
4-0 sweep there, man. I'm waking up Saturday morning with a smile on my face, knowing that Texas Tech will be playing in Arlington December 6th. Still looking for tickets on my end, by the way. I don't know if any of the shufflers want to donate to the cause, but just thought I'd throw that out there. If you want to hang out with us at AT&T Stadium on the 6th, let us know. So, all right, next game. This one's going to suck, but Texas A&M at Texas in Austin Friday night. Lesser of two evils for me here. I'm going to pick the Aggies just based off. I want Texas just out of the equation completely. I think Texas going 8-4 would be pretty comical. So I'm going to take the Aggies because I want them to win. I'm not totally confident they're going to win, though. Conrad and Zyler, you guys kind of spoiled your pick earlier. So, Clayton, I'll go to you, and then we'll let these guys talk why they're picking Texas.
Yeah, I'll take A&M as well. I think if Texas defense still looked like it did in the first half of the season, I'd probably take Texas, but their defense has fallen off a cliff. I mean, anyone can score on them right now, and A&M's the best offense they've seen probably since Ohio State. So I think A&M wins a shootout. And I actually think this is like set up well for a good hate watch. Like either Texas finishes the year 8-4 or they ruin A&M's season. Not ruin it, but like I think if A&M loses they miss the SEC championship game, which would be funny. So I think either way, Tech fans could
enjoy the
something
result.
Happy about.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, boys, why are you picking Texas?
I think Texas, they're kind of like a 3-pointer and layup offense. The Aggies are really good in run success rate, but you can get them on big plays. Like they will stop you most of the time. When they don't stop you running the ball, it's like massive plays. I think Arch has slowly and steadily been improving. He delivers the game of his career, and I think they knock off the Aggies in Austin. I think that Texas defense is going to get some guys back, and I think they do enough, and I think the rushing defense for the Longhorns steps up. And in a lower scoring game, I'll take the Longhorns.
Conrad, that leaves you.
Yeah, I'm going to go that Texas wins for two reasons. Number one, they're at home. That environment is going to be crazy. And then number two, I'm going to I'm going to channel my inner Zyler. I'm going to read some stats for you guys that I saw earlier today. Arch Manning versus SEC opponents. Best conference of college football. 1,875 passing yards, 17 total touchdowns, 6 total turnovers. NFL passer rating, not sure why that matters, but it's on here, 100.2. Marcel Reed pass yards against SEC opponents, 1,750. Total touchdowns, 18. Total turnovers, 11. NFL passer rating, 99.4. Arch, while marginally better, has definitely been better according to the numbers, and he has less turnovers in SEC play than Marcel Reed does. Marcel Reed's going to go through 2 interceptions. He's going to prove himself to be the not good quarterback that, in my opinion, he is, based on their schedule that I just read earlier. Going to DKR, Brennan and I have been in that stadium. I'll never forget that night. I wish I could forget that night that we were there to watch Texas Tech absolutely get demolished. That's going to be what this is, except I think it's going to be times 10 because the Longhorns hate the Aggies much more than they hate us because, let's just be honest, they've owned us in their history. And so I think that that environment plus Arch being improved is definitely going to be the reason that Texas beats A&M. Even though I wish A&M would win, that's just what's going to happen because that's what the numbers say.
You're a numbers guy, right? Conrad's always been a numbers guy. That's one thing. All right, let's get to the game. Ohio State, Michigan, man, one of my favorite games in college football. I always look forward to the 11 a.m. kick. Ohio State, Michigan, this rivalry has delivered the last 4 years. These two teams are the previous 2 national champions. We've talked about Michigan in the story on if they are able to win this game, they could wreck the college football playoff. So does Michigan at home have a chance, or are we going all Ohio State across the board here?
Ohio State dominates. There's just no way this team loses again.
So again, you mean ever? You mean like they go undefeated? The Ohio State's
no. To Michigan again. There's no way, right? They're so good last year.
You would.
The only reason they lost last year was because Chip Kelly wanted to like prove that they could beat Michigan like the Michigan way with like toughness and running the ball. If they had actually thrown the ball last year, they would have obliterated them too. I think that's what they do this year.
Okay, so 2 Ohio States.
Are we worried about Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith both missing last week?
No, because they have Julian Sayin as their quarterback, 2025 Heisman Trophy winner.
No shot he was a Heisman.
No way.
Winning instead of him.
Jacob Rodriguez.
Fernando Mendoza, I think, is
Yeah,
minus money.
I think Mendoza
There
is
is
going to
no
win.
way that the Heisman Trophy winners, because of perception, vote for an Indiana quarterback over the Ohio State quarterback. There's no way that happens.
How much
Now
do you want to bet?
Are the votes?
I don't know how to bet.
The votes are due after the Big Ten championship game, to be fair. So there will be a head-to-head scenario there, Mendoza-Sayin for Conrad.
Sayin.
So, Conrad, you going to Ohio State?
Ohio State by 1 million.
Dude, I think this is the best team in the country by far. Like, they have almost no holes. So I think this is Bryce Underwood has not shown he's capable of beating teams with his arm consistently this season. And I think because of that, Ohio State will eventually just wear them down, force turnovers. And though it's in the big house, this could get ugly pretty quick, I think. I think that Ohio State steamrolls Michigan as well. So, all right, quickly, this game, I put it on here only because it relates to Tech. But Georgia Tech, if Georgia Tech is able to pull off an upset, Georgia would drop. Theoretically, that would give Tech a front row seat to a first-round bye with a win. Do we think the Yellow Jackets have a chance at all? They've looked horrible the last 2 weeks. Is this one just Georgia by 1 million as well? Everyone's shaking their head.
Georgia by 1 million.
If you're not watching on YouTube, everyone's just nodding in agreement here.
So, this would have to be the Haynes King. Like, he would literally have to die on the field to defeat this team.
He would have to rush for 200, throw for 300.
That Georgia Tech defense is horrible.
Exactly.
I mean, they were getting pieced up by NC State. Like,
yeah.
I think Georgia
Tech is the worst 9-2 Power 5 team I've ever seen.
They've looked like it. They almost lost to a 1-9 Boston College 2 weeks ago. Like, this team just hasn't looked capable of beating a team like Georgia. So,
and I think Kirby is probably still upset that it was a close game last year. Like, I think he emphatically removes them from the top 25 this week.
Agreed. What would y'all, if y'all were setting the line yourself, what would you put the line at between Georgia Tech at 9-2 and 2-9 Arkansas?
Arkansas by 4.
Wow.
I was going to say Georgia Tech by like 2.5.
You guys are savages. I'd put it like at 5.5 Georgia Tech. Arkansas can't stop anyone either. I mean, that team, they're horrible. Arkansas,
that is true.
Like, they're bad. So, okay, let's stay in the SEC. Another huge game, the Iron Bowl, 6:30 at night in Jordan-Hare and Auburn. Not a good sign for Alabama. This game, you never know. Does Alabama get knocked out of the playoff for the second straight year? Are we going an upset anywhere here? It's been pretty chalk so far. Anyone picking Auburn to pull off the upset?
No, because I don't know if you guys saw the alert that just broke on ESPN, but Nick Saban's actually the Alabama head coach again, and Kalen DeBoer has been regulated to the bench. So Alabama by 24.
I didn't see that report anywhere. I don't know if that's accurate or not.
That's Saban's personal line to Conrad. That's where he gets all his Ty Simpson information. I'm gonna go out on a huge limb here. I know Bama's only favored by 6. Give me the Auburn Tigers. I think they get it done this week. I don't really have good reason. It's really more of a hope thing. It's this is not a factual or a statistically based argument. So go Tigers or Eagle.
I've been heavily invested in this game the last 4 years for obvious reasons, and so I will say after really watching this game, like when one team has been bad and one team has been good, it's shocking how close this game is, and like just how wild it can get. 4 overtime games, last second field goals, 4th and 19 touchdown passes. Like, you talk about fluky things happening, Z, they just happen in the Iron Bowl. It's rare this game is a blowout, and so I think Bama's going to sneak it out because they have to. Like, DeBoer, if they go 9-3, you're going to miss the playoffs. It is hot seat city next season in Tuscaloosa. I think Bama's going to win this game, but it'll be closer than people think. This is going to be a very nerve-wracking game. I talked to a very close Alabama friend who said this game matters more than the national championship. They are more nervous about the Iron Bowl than any other game, including playoff games on their schedule. This is how terrifying it is for Alabama fans. So
that's
close.
Crazy.
Yeah, close.
Yeah, and if Alabama, I'll just announce this on Wednesday morning on the Broadway Shuffle. If Alabama does lose this game, we will have 2 guests on the show, one with the initials CM, the other with the initials JB, on our reaction episode that will come out next week, just because it'll be it'll be great to see if Alabama does lose this game. So stay tuned for who those two people are, and we'll see what happens.
If Alabama loses this game, I won't have a wife come our reaction episode. So don't.
Well, that's a little far.
It's you trust me. It's that dangerous. Clayton, you going Alabama or Auburn?
Give me Auburn.
Okay,
Let's go, Clayton. We
I'm
ride.
telling you guys,
We ride.
it's not crazy. Like it. You just don't know. So, all right, quickly before we get to Texas
You
Tech,
didn't ask me.
You said Alabama. We know where
Yeah,
you're
when
going.
Nick Saban was coaching the game.
Okay, who's winning?
Auburn.
Oh, okay.
No way.
Wow, going against Ty
Against
Simpson.
Ty Simpson?
Okay.
Jordan Hare, baby.
That's
crazy.
I can't believe he just cheated on
if
Ty
I had
like
to
that.
pick the outcome, though, it's Auburn has a third quarter 2-possession lead and somehow loses by 2 possessions. Like, that's how I think this
I
game
can
is.
see
Like,
that.
we decide to snap the ball over our head, safety, like something stupid like that.
Yeah, those things happen in this game. I mean, the kick six is like one of the greatest moments in college football history. You know, it's like 109 yard kickoff return to beat your rival. That doesn't happen very often. All right, Chiefs Cowboys. We'll get to an NFL game here. I don't know, guys. I know where all you guys are going. All you got. Here's your Patrick Mahomes moment. You bandwagoners. You know, so go ahead. Everyone just picking the Chiefs. We know where y'all are going. Yep,
Dude.
Again,
It's
just subtle,
watching their
subtle head
offense
movements.
sometimes is like it's like, how do you have all these pieces and how do you have one of the highest paid offensive lines in the country, and it's like you can't run the ball and also somehow you can't pass the ball. Like, I don't get it.
They can pass the ball.
Are you talking about the
sometimes.
Chiefs?
Yeah, I'm
They
talking
threw
about the Chiefs.
for 350 on the Colts.
Yeah, but it was like the first 3 quarters was like, what is going on here? I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah.
But give me the Chiefs. Pat loves playing in Texas. He's going to play really well. It's going to that Thursday slate is awesome. I don't know if y'all have looked at that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
an unbelievable schedule of NFL games. So excited for that. I think the Chiefs do get it done. Dak Prescott throws a critical interception at the end of the game, and Conrad, rejoices with tears. It's an unbelievable moment for the show.
Conrad, Cowboys or Chiefs?
Yeah, so November 25th, I believe it was 2016. Texas Tech finished the regular season by winning 54-35 over the Baylor Bears. We finished that year with a 5-7 record, a 3-6 record in the Big 12. Those were dark days for the Red Raiders, but there was a bright spot that we have clung on to since that day, and that is the man, the myth, the legend, Patrick Mahomes. He was 30 of 46, 586 yards passing with 6 touchdowns on that day in AT&T Stadium. That is the last time he played at AT&T Stadium. I think he throws for over 1,000 yards on Thanksgiving Day, 9 touchdowns, and the Chiefs absolutely obliterate the Dallas Cowboys, and Jerry Jones is shown on TV crying. So that is my pick. I think the Chiefs win handily. That's what I want to see. That's what I need to see, because my feelings about the Dallas Cowboys are well documented on this show. But Patrick comes home to Texas and absolutely plays lights out, and they win.
Clayton.
I'll take the Chiefs as well in a high-scoring game. I think the Cowboys' defense is just not good enough, and Pat in a dome always puts up crazy numbers. So I'll take the Chiefs like 31-28.
You guys are way too predictable, man. I'm going Cowboys, even though I don't like either of these teams. It's going to be a hard watch for me, but I think the Cowboys, I will say, after what they did against Eagles on Sunday, I wouldn't be shocked to see them both teams coming in riding a crazy high momentum, comeback wins. I could see the Cowboys carrying that and offensively. So I'll take the Cowboys just because I don't want the Chiefs to win.
Let me also say that the Kansas City Chiefs actually were Dallas's first real pro team, but that gets forgotten.
It does. Sure. A fun fact, actually, my grandfather got asked if he wanted to buy the Los Angeles Rams back in the day by Mr. Hunt, and Tex Schramm and him and my grandfather and them were all friends, and he was trying to convince them not to move to Kansas City, but he couldn't do that. And then he turned down the opportunity to buy what is now the Los Angeles Rams. So sad day for my family. I wouldn't be here if that happened. I can tell you that much. Yeah, crazy story there. All right, last game we're gonna pick, last one of the regular season. It's come down to West Virginia, Texas Tech. Gentlemen, we've talked about it. What a great year of picks. Red Raiders, I've got them 37-6 in Morgantown. Cruise to a victory. I think maybe a late touchdown, go for two, maybe a couple field goals here and there for the Mountaineers, but nothing crazy. And Texas Tech will be playing in Arlington for the first time. And it's going to be a glorious Saturday. So I've got Tech 37-6.
I'll take the Red Raiders 45-13. I think they get it done pretty emphatically. I don't know. Just Arizona, please just win Friday night. That would make me feel a lot better. So that's what I got.
Okay. Clayton?
I'll take Tech 41-7.
I like it. All right, Conrad.
Yeah, Texas Tech is too much for the Mountaineers. I'm going to reuse a score we've seen earlier this year. I'm going to go 42-0. West Virginia is not scoring again. This defense has too much pride to let West Virginia score. So I'm going to say Texas Tech wins 42-0. I'm going to say Jacob Rodriguez scores a defensive touchdown in this game for the Red Raiders to cement his invite to New York City.
I love that, man. It's going to be a fun weekend. It's going to be a great week of football. Boys, it was fun. Fun regular season. This is our last preview. Next game we'll be previewing, hopefully, unless things go super bad, is a Big 12 championship game. That moment is quickly approaching. We appreciate all the shufflers for tuning in, listening. Hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving with their family and friends. Enjoy the football, enjoy the food, and enjoy the Red Raiders in Morgantown on Saturday. We'll be back maybe Sunday night, maybe Monday morning. We'll talk to you guys about it. We're talking about maybe going live on Sunday night to hang out with you guys and talk about the Texas Tech game, but we'll confirm that later in the week. If not, you can find us on Monday morning as well. And as always, whether on Spotify, Apple, or YouTube, make sure to like the video and subscribe so you never miss any of our content. Social media and merchandise links in the description below. Thank you guys. Happy Thanksgiving, and we will see you next time on the Broadway Shuffle.
He makes the catch. He's going all the way. 20, 15.